I'm alright. I'm a little bit puzzled though, right? I was in Tesco's just before, right? And I was buying this watermelon, right? And on the watermelon there was a sticker saying that this watermelon would count as one of my 5 a day. I can't eat 5 watermelons a day. That's like too many watermelons, you know, like even carrying 5 watermelons out of the shop is difficult, you know. You can get like 4 in your hands and then like a 5th one balanced in like a pyramid, but you need someone to help you do that, you know. And I was doing my big shop for the week as well. So that's like 35 watermelons I've got to buy, you know. And I'm just one man on my own, you know. If I had like a wife and 2.4 children, that's like 154 watermelons. You know? I didn't have that many watermelons in the shop. What am I supposed to do, you know? In the end, I just bought 1, you know. Just going to risk it. You know? I don't want to live forever. But this is my accent, by the way. I'm aware if you're not from this country, you maybe find my accent a lot. I'm from Cumbria, in the northwest of England. If you don't know Cumbria, I describe Cumbria as basically being the land of the famous poet William Wordsworth and Cumberland sausage. Cumberland sausage obviously being William Wordsworth's nickname for his penis. Yeah, no. A little bit immature that one, I know. It's saying, you know, it's a bit childish that saying William Wordsworth called his penis a Cumberland sausage. It's a bit childish. I can tell some of you were disappointed me with that one. You know, we didn't come here for this filth. But in my defence, you know, that isn't even my joke, really. You know, that's William Wordsworth's own joke. So you can blame him, you know, if you don't like it, you know. That's true, by the way. The famous poet William Wordsworth called his penis a Cumberland sausage. You know, that's a fact. You can look that up if you don't believe me. Read the poem. You know the poem, yeah? You know the poem, Phyllis Queen. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, inside the cottage. I got really like a Cumberland sausage. I have to do that joke at all my gigs because I racked up thousands of pounds worth of debt studying English at university. And so far that one joke is all I've got to show for it. I know, right? You know, but apart from this, right, I got a phone call the other night about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I get a phone call that sort of time. You think, why would anyone phone me? But I answer the phone, this voice says, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, yet make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise, then you may have been missold PPI. So, why did I do that? Hey, how's that work? Anyway, so I like coming to London. I don't live here, so I travel down. I like London. You know, I don't understand Cockney rhyming slang. Or I understand it, but I don't understand what it's for. You know what I mean? Like why is anyone saying apples and pears when stairs is already a word? I'm not a go, but I don't, you know, it's like, I looked it up on the internet, like, apparently Cockney rhyming slang it's thought to have started as like a secret code among criminals. So that in the old days, Cockney criminals could discuss their crimes in public without people when they were talking about it. People heard that before. Anyone?
Yes.
You one person, good, yeah, good, because the joke depends on that bit being true. Everyone else believing me, so thank God you're here. Thank God, I was panicking, but yeah, Cockney rhyming slang's supposed to have been a secret code among criminals originally, but I never understood how that would work in practice, you know, because I've just got this image in my head of 2 Cockney criminals in the olden days using Cockney rhyming slang as a secret code, maybe the very first time. The first one says something like, "All right, Trev!" I can't do accents. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I thought for a second I was going to... No. All right, Trev. My old... China plate? As in mate, Trev? Yeah, good. I understand, Trev, that we've been having a problem with Harry, but Adam and Eve... Believe. You've dealt with the problem with Harry. My old China plate. And then the second Cockney criminal says something like, "Yes, Kev, I've murdered Harry by pushing him down the apples and pears. You slag! You know, it wants to work. It wouldn't work with it anyway. So, right, I don't talk to an audience directly when I do stand-up very much. I don't do much of the who are you, what you do for a living kind of thing. Part of the reason for that is, whenever I do that, it just sort of never goes anywhere. And it sucks the atmosphere out of the room and everyone wishes I hadn't done it. It just doesn't happen. Genuinely, the last time I asked an audience member what he did for a living was about 2 years ago. And he told me that he worked as a football mascot. He dressed up as a cartoon character and ran around football pitches is his job. Which is already a fairly funny sounding job, I as a comedian should be able to do something with that. All I could think to say to him was just, oh, really? And he just went, yeah. And I just went, well, 14. And he went, Derby? And that was all I said to him, That was 2 years ago. I think about that every night. I play over him. There must have been something, but I've still got nothing, But I don't feel like it's... I don't do something with the audience, so what I'm going to do is this thing, right? It's just basically a quiz with one question and no prize. Don't all start fighting over this, it's not that important, But here's my question, right? Do shout out if you know the answer. Don't bother whispering or conferring, just shout out, Go nuts. Here's the question. The question is, do any of you know, or would like to guess, what the longest word in the English dictionary is? Yeah, good. Functionality habilitation, madam. Not quite, but thanks for playing. And it's he's one letter shorter than functionality habilitation, but if there was a prize, you'd probably win. So, good. Does anyone know a longer word than functionality habilitation, though?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yes, correct. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a real word. It is in the dictionary, so that it's real and longer than functionality. But supercalifragilisticexpialidocious still isn't quite the longest. Anyone know a longer word than supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Honorificabilitunitatis. I get that sometimes. Honorificabilitunitatis is like a Shakespeare comedy thing. It's like a Shakespeare comedy. I think Shakespeare probably made up the word honorificabilitunitatis as a joke. It was like a really silly sounding word, I know it's not funny now, but 400 years ago, people wet themselves laughing. It's hilarious. This job has got harder. Shakespeare can't do what I do, but so I'm going to tune down this. People sometimes say the Welsh town as well. You probably have the Welsh town. Clanfaid fucking Gelf involved Tansi Gugok. Obviously Clanfaid fucking Gelf involved Tansi Gugok's a proper noun, so that's not in the dictionary. So you were right not to say that. Hippopotamonstrous escapedaliophobia as well. I hear that sometimes. If you don't know what hippopotamonstrous escapedaliophobia means, fear of long words. So, again, no, that's not my joke, but whoever named hippopotamonstrous escapedaliophobia presumably gave it that name as a joke, Trying to be funny, you can see what they were going for. But the longest word, I'm guessing none of you know, it's this one, which is pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Any of you heard of that one before? No, good. So I win. Right. No, that's not the end, Right. No, pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis, genuinely, I haven't made it up, that's a real thing if you want to Google it later on. But now, if you Google the longest word, you'll find it's real, it's a disease. That's what it's a disease that coal miners get when a certain type of coal dust gets in their lungs, but like a specific kind of volcanic silica dust, that's why it's such a long name. But it's one real word, pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis, one word, completely Scrabble. If you had enough letters, like if a game of Scrabble got really out of hand. But as I say, it's a disease, and it's a serious disease as well. You can die from pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. I just think you can't call it a potentially fatal illness a joke name. Like honorificabilitunitatis, that's a joke. Hippopotamonstrous escapedaliophobia, that's a joke. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that's from Mary Poppins. Just that Welsh town, but pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis, it's no laughing matter. I just think as if having pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis itself wasn't bad enough. But then it's called pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis as well. I suppose what I mean is, imagine being told by a doctor that you had pneumonal ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. And that you were going to die from it. You'd be like, What's wrong with me, doctor? The doctor would be like, I'm afraid there's no easy way to say this.